Hi, everybody. This is Cheryl Abram, and you're with Life Without a Witness. So, today we're going to talk about to trust or not to trust. And I wanted to talk about this because a few days ago, I saw a video that was really quite interesting. Okay. And it was interesting because in the past, I asked myself a lot, Cheryl, why did you believe the story of a man who was born of a virgin, turned water to wine, raised the dead, rose from the dead, did all kinds of things? Why did you believe that? And because today it seems ridiculous to me, but it's not because I'm older and wiser. All right. Because there are people much older and much wiser than I who believe that story. Okay. I mean, they'll bet their lives on it. Okay. So I think I fell for it for the same reason that, you know, how when you yawn, or when you see somebody else yawn, it makes you want, like, they're contagious, right? I think it has something to do with that. Like, even talking about yawning might make you, feel like yawning. You know what I'm saying? So it, it was, I think has something to do with that whole mechanism, right? Um, and I'm not going to get into, all the science and the neurons and all that stuff, but the idea is that if you're doing it, you know, then maybe it's useful. Maybe it's something I should be doing. If you're, and putting aside things like, what we do in a as social animals, okay, we try to build bonds and relationships and all that stuff, right? But I'm really stuck on the useful thing, okay? You're believing this, and you seem to be all put together and everything, so maybe it's a useful belief. Why not? Why shouldn't I do it? And it's not anything about right or wrong. It's a right belief or a wrong belief. No, that's not it at all. The question is it useful? And the idea is that it is. Okay, so maybe I should believe it too. All right. So what I did was I believed a claim made by an authority, or somebody I trusted. And who was the somebody that I trusted? It was me. It was always me. Okay. I didn't make the claim, but at the end of the day, I had to accept, ingest, and metabolize the claim. Okay, which is what I did. So now this is what so the other day I was watching some videos, and there's a lot of videos on YouTube, okay, about questionable spiritual leaders. Like, there's a video called Preachers Gone Wild. Evangelicals freak out. There's one I watched called The Dark World of Mega Churches, which was very interesting. And y'all know that I even have some stuff on this channel, and I'll link them underneath this video. I did a review of American Gospel, Christ Alone, Hillsong, Bentino Massaro. I did a short thing on him. Teal Swan was one of the most recent ones, and the most recent one was John of God. Okay. So I have information about that. And they describe, spiritual leaders. So the video that I watched about the mega churches, I mean, these folks were doing some things. Okay. They told their congregants to do things like eat grass, drink poison, swallow live snakes, take their clothes off, all kinds of things. And some of the things that I talked about in the videos that I reviewed were the followers, what's going on? Because some of them, for example, the followers of Bentino, they were on Instagram saying, this dude is nuts. Okay, like he claims to be this whatever, and he's doing all this other stuff that he shouldn't be doing as a spiritual, you know. But the question for me, what it was still, and as a follower, it was like, why did I even fall for that stuff? Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. Now, I have here individuals that you may or may not know who, to some, are considered uh, spiritual leaders. They're considered, some of them are preachers, pastors, influencers, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So let me tell you who they are, because I want you to know who all these folks are, because it's going to be important. So Eckhart Tolle, and I'll let you know a very short snippet of how they claim, of what their claim is, okay, regarding spirituality. So for Eckhart Tolle, he said that one night in 1977, at the age of 29, after a really, really long period of depression, he said he experienced an inner transformation and came to peace with everything. That's how he described it. Next is T.D. Jakes. Okay, T.D. Jakes is a very famous pastor. He's somebody that I actually used to listen to a lot. Well, his story goes, his choir was invited to sing one night at a small Pentecostal church in Charleston, called the Greater Emmanuel Tabernacle, something like that. So that night during the service, he began to speak in tongues, which is something that Pentecostals believe is evidence that the Holy Spirit uh, is possessing you. Okay. So then he left the church of, where he was, and he got a new, to uh, grow in his new Pentecostal faith. Okay, so it's just speaking in tongues. And then of course there's me, and y'all know my story. One day I was at work, I felt like I was dying, and then I experienced what I described as eternity. Okay. Pope Francis, this was interesting. And I didn't know. So his name is not Francis, So they apparently, when you become Pope, it's like hurricanes. You know how they give hurricanes names? So they give popes names too, no matter what the name was that you were born with. So his birth name is like Jorge Mario Bergoglio, something like. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but it's something like that. But this is Pope Francis. So his story is, he says, in the early 1950s, he had a day off from school. He planned to meet up with his girlfriend and some classmates, just to have fun. But on his way to meet up with his friends and his girlfriend, he passed by his local parish, and he just felt like, really strongly felt compelled to go inside. And later he said, I went in. He said, I felt I had to go in. It's just something that came over me. I don't know what it was. And he said, as he walked into the church, it was dark, and he saw a priest that he'd never seen before. And he said, I felt like someone grabbed me from inside and took me to the confessional. Then he said, during the time in confession, he had a profound experience with God's mercy. He said it was so dramatic, that it was like being knocked off a horse. Okay. And he said that moment was really a defining moment for him. And it really convinced him that he should become a priest. So this next gentleman, Ramana Maharshi, he says it was quite sudden. I was sitting alone in a room on the first floor of my uncle's house. I seldom had any sickness, and on that day, there was nothing wrong with my health, but a sudden violent fear of death overtook me. There was nothing in my state of health, to account for that. Um, and he said, I just felt I'm going to die, and began thinking what to do about it. Okay. And then he goes on with a whole thing you know, about becoming who he is, or seeing what was going on. Okay. Now, the last person, Joyce Meyer, she's also a minister. She said she was praying intensely while driving to work one morning in 1976. And she said she heard God call her name. Now, she'd already, at the age of 9, she'd already been born again, but she said her unhappiness drove her deeper into her faith. She said later, she came home later that day from a beauty appointment full of liquid love and drunk with the Spirit of God. Okay. And from then on, she just felt like, she was destined for something. She was anointed and touched by God and all that. So all of these folks have different accounts. Okay. They've made different claims about something. Okay. But the thing that's common here is that we've all made claims. Okay. They're claims. Nobody here is talking about the ultimate truth. Nobody here is talking about what's right and the same for everybody. It's all claims. Okay. So, and a claim is not proof of anything. Okay. It's not proof of it. And when I think back to who I was and what I was learning at the time, when I think back to that, like that's what I was looking for proof. I was looking for the truth. Okay. And I was looking to people who I thought had it. Proof and the truth. All right. Uh which suggested I didn't have it. Proof or the truth, Because if I did, I wouldn't have had to go looking someplace else. All right. So a claim is not proof of anything. And everybody on this slide, and think about the people in your life, the folks that you've invested all kinds of things in, and what they say and all that. Okay. It's a bunch of claims and experience. So let me tell you. So a claim is like, it's what is a claim? What's a good way to describe it? It's not it's like you have an experience and you're interpreting it. A claim is like an interpretation of an experience. Okay. And again, it's not proof. Now, it's not proof. However, you can use it if you want, because you're the ultimate authority. At the end of the day, I don't care if it's your mama, your grandma, somebody, your president, your whatever. Okay. You are the ultimate authority when it comes to what you believe, think, and do. Okay. Which means you have to choose to ingest and metabolize that claim. Okay. And you can do that. You can absolutely choose to use it, to take it, embrace it, lay down with it, go to sleep with it, hug it, let it wash over you. I mean, you could do all that if you want to do that. It's your choice. And what I came to find was, and this isn't something that I used to do. Okay. I mean, you know, I've chosen to ingest and metabolize many claims. Okay. And why is that? Because I'm making the choice to use that information because I have a current and future goal, and investing my mind and body in this claim. Okay. This claim is a collaborator in helping me to reach that goal, whatever it is. Okay. Whatever that goal is. Now, what does that mean? So when it comes to followers of people like Bentino, Teal Swan, TD Jakes, even it doesn't even have to be a person. It can be the Republican Party, followers of the Democratic Party, the Ku Klux Klan, okay, the Black Panther, followers of any people, groups, ideas, whatever. Okay, there's even somebody in the video that I watched. His name was Prophet Mboro. His followers, and maybe and others, maybe I don't know, paid him about $340 for copies of the pictures he took when he claimed he went to heaven. Okay, go look up the story. All right. He went to heaven. He had I think it was disposable camera he had with him, and he took some pictures. So when he came back, he said for a donation of $340, you could have a picture and it'll be like your ticket to heaven. He made a claim, just like everybody on this screen. Okay. And some individuals decided to, use that for their own purposes. Okay. You're always the ultimate authority. I'm always the ultimate authority, which is something that I talk about in Firing God. Okay. God is the set of beliefs that I've set up. All right. That I've built. Okay. And chosen to help me navigate in this world. Okay. I did that. So to trust or not to trust is not really the question here. Okay. I mean, no matter who the person is, when you're looking at them and it comes to a decision that needs to be made, you're making a decision. Teal Swan ain't making nobody do nothing, especially grown folks who don't have chains. They're not chained in a basement or something. You know what I mean? Who are free to go whenever they want to go. Okay, folks in Bentino's camp. All right, unless he's got them, locked in a cell somewhere or at the bottom of a well or something, and there's no way. You know what I mean? We're choosing to do this, and we're choosing to do it for our own reasons, our own purposes. Okay, I didn't know that. Isn't that nuts? I did not know that until I got in my 30s. Or maybe I did know, I ignored it. All I was shocked. Like I was really shocked when I discovered, like, what? I can choose to believe this stuff or not. I had never even considered, you know, that was it was like the belief system was like, I thought it was like gravity. Am I choosing to keep my feet on the ground, or is that just the way the world works? You know, that's the way I felt. The belief I had, that's just the way I ain't got nothing to do with that. It's like land, air, sea, and I ain't got nothing to do with that. That was just here. Okay. So now it's not, do you trust this person, you don't it's really about you. It's about me. And trust really is not the question now. The question now is the claim useful? All right. No matter, even if people, I've talked on here about the flat earth a whole bunch of times. That claim is useful for people. There are people who find it useful. Okay. And and they have the right to make that choice. They do. So I'm saying that to say, we do have a choice. Okay. And it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun, actually, to take an interest in what we've decided to believe. Okay. Just it's really, and not, and when I say take an interest, I'm not saying to see what you can get out of it, because everything we believe for a reason. Okay. To see what you can get out of it, but just examine it. Have an open mind about it, and remember, having an open mind doesn't mean you have to change it. That's not what that means. That's totally not what that means. Okay, having an open mind does not mean you have to change it. All right, and I think a lot of us get we're afraid to open our minds to something else because we feel like that'll automatically like make us something different or whatever. I mean, I don't know. And I tell this to the folks in my learning and training. Okay, it, you can still do whatever you want to do. Okay, but do you want to see a little more clearly? Do you want to hear a little more sharply? Do you want to grow your senses a little more? I mean, you can do that and still still do what you do, still believe what you believe. You know what I mean? So that's all I have to say about that. And it's not just now, I just concentrated on spiritual folks. Okay, folks who've made spiritual type, and I don't even like that word because it makes it sound like it's something other than this, but whatever. It's not just about individuals who've made spiritual claims. It's any kind of claim. It ain't got to have anything doing with everyday life. Okay, just think of your roles and the claims that have been made and what you've attached to you. Okay, what you're holding on to, whether it's mother claims, father claims, sister claims, nationality claims. Okay, traditional things. You know, I mean, we can take time to just examine it and to see what's really going on there. To see what's really going on there. All right. And remember, you can choose. You can. And just knowing that you have that option, for some, that's really all they needed to know. Okay. And it's something that I was never told, ever told. All right. Which is why I'm telling you. All right, y'all have a very good evening, and I will see you back here shortly. Good night.